In the last video, we got the entire stock front end taken off of my 1962 ECTO-1 replica, and in this video, we're putting on the 1959 front end. Let's get into it. Yeah, so guys, check this out. This is the entire front end taken off the car. I mean, here's the front end here, just laying on the ground. We're gonna have to get started by moving this off to the side somewhere just to get it out of the way. And then I'll show you my plans, kind of running into a couple different issues, and I got a couple ideas of how to fix them. But we're gonna have to start with putting the bumper on, which will require swapping the core supports. Once those are done, then we can talk about the fenders. Lost one lens, but not that big of a loss. So guys, there we have it. That is the end of the 1962 front end. Gone but not forgotten. I did damage, like I said, I damaged this one lens over here in the transport, but it's not a huge deal. I don't think people are going to be missing it that bad, or whoever buys this, you know, I'm sure someone repops those lenses because they make every other lens for these old cars, and they're probably not that hard to find anyways. On with the new, or I guess even older than 62. First step, I will need to be taking this core support off. The core support is this middle piece right in here that swoops down and connects to the front of the frame. That needs to come off, which in order to do that, I've already got the trans cooler removed. I will have to figure out how to unbolt it. The radiator, I think, will just pull right off because I've already disconnected these brackets. I think it's just kind of snug in there, so I think as soon as I pull it, it'll come off. Because I don't think these are connected to anything. Like, these look like they're connected. Yeah, see, they're not connected to anything. That's just framing. Oh, that's just for the fan shroud. Okay. So yeah, the radiator will come off pretty easily, and then hopefully we'll mount to my new 59 core support. I can show you some of the changes, but really the main thing is just from over here, you've got these little ends over here that just dip down a little bit that this does not have. So I'm not sure yet what those are used for, but I know it's going to be important, so I might as well just go ahead and swap it out. And also, this is this one piece assembly that's connected to the front of the core support, whereas in the 59, this bar down here, this lower one, is actually parallel to this one, and it kind of connects, and it's like a two-piece. So there's a couple reasons why you got to swap it, but you know, all you need to know is just go ahead and swap it, because maybe you can make the 62 work, but I don't care enough. Let's go ahead and disconnect that, and then try to put that bumper on. That's going to be even harder than taking this off. So the core support itself looks to be really easy to remove. I think it's literally just that one bolt holding it to the frame that's left. And then obviously I've got a couple bolts over here, but I don't think that those bolts are connected to the core support itself. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, it should just come right off. All I need to do in advance is remove everything from this panel like I did with this one. There was that panel right there that was between the battery tray and the core support, just kind of enclose it off. So just like this. And I need to get this out. So the trick that I used to get it off is, well, it's not off yet, but I wanted to show you before it's off. I used this to kind of grab on the sides and kind of bend it a little bit, because it's kind of rubbery. It's just really tough, so it's hard to tell. So then once you pry a little more, just without trying to break this, this starts popping out. So it'll come out in just a second, but before I took it off, I just wanted to show you, because you're probably going to wonder, how do I get this off without breaking the rubber? And just kind of have to pry it a little bit just to get it a little loose, and then it's going to start slowly popping out. Core support is on the ground. I've got a couple things to take off here. Doesn't really affect you guys, so I probably won't even film it. Most of you guys probably won't have this same stuff anyways. So I'm just gonna have to take these off and just leave the screws near them so I can mount them to this one. But before well, I guess I should do that first and then put the bumper on. Yeah, I guess I'll go and do that. So I've got all this ready. So here's the old one, here's the new one. There's the main difference right there is this little clamshell piece. It's there is one for this one. I don't remember where I put it, but it's mounted underneath the frame instead of directly to this in front of, like sandwiched in between that and the frame. So that is one of the major differences. And then, like I said, here's that one piece versus this, connects to this right here. So my thing is, I wasn't gonna even hose these off or like get the dirt off of them at first, but I'm figuring I'm gonna take the fender wells. You know, the fender wells are probably gonna come off once or twice, but this core support is not, because I need to take this off in order to put the bumper on. So I kind of want to go ahead and fix this up a little bit before I put the bumper on. So that's what I'm going to do. I bought this at Harbor Freight, this little bit, to use with my drill, and I'm just going to knock all the sand and rust off, and then hose it down once it's dry. I've got some, what did I get? Let's see. I don't remember what type of, oh yeah, it's Rust-Oleum. I got Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer, so that'll be good for underneath. And then crap, did I not get an actual black paint? Oh well, I guess I'll just spray paint it with some of my Rust-Oleum Turbo. Oh well, let's get to it. I like it so far. I kind of like the matte finish. It's just kind of accidental because I have the rust reformer that I wanted to use anyways, but I was going to use gloss black over it. But since I don't have any paint, I'm just going to go ahead and forget to put that on, and I'm just going to leave it as rust reformer. All right, I'm ready to mount the core support, and I wanted to show you guys just before. This is all the hardware that I'm using. It's all just the factory stuff. And the trick is you take everything apart just so you can actually get this little lip to fit around the frame right here. Once this is in tight, you run this underneath, stick it in there. These sit on top as, I guess, spacers, just so you get the height right. And this is what goes underneath. So that lock washer nut, pretty simple. Let me go ahead and just set it in and get the bolts in. Kicked up on the threads. It's gonna be a problem actually. I'm going to try to get the radiator in first. Okay, just in and out. That's on. Yes. The mounts. Darn it. Okay, I made a little change. I used these I don't know. I don't have any others sitting, but these are just, I think they're fender mount. I don't remember, but what they do is they kind of have a slot that they use to like self tap. So I did a pre-drilled hole there, and then tap these in with an impact, so I wouldn't need to use a nut on the other end, because there is no access over here. That doesn't line up, and there isn't one of those, like it doesn't line up right. So like you see there, it doesn't line up. It lines up somewhere else. So that is just my little fix, and I think it's actually going to do just fine. Okay, I'm running into a little bit of an issue. You can see I've got the 159 fender mounted up, just like, you know, dummy style, because I got this mounted and it just seems like it's too high. And oh, hold on. So there's a couple fitment issues, but you see this body line is perfect pretty much. I don't think there's any issues with that other than the width, but it's way too high. Look at that. So I don't know how I'm gonna fix that, but maybe I have something wrong. Maybe it's bolted in the wrong place. I really don't know, but I'm starting to get a little confused. All right, as y'all can tell, I got some bad weather coming in again, but I don't know. I ran into my first big roadblock, I guess. I showed you a little bit. Look, it's just too tall, and I'm talking to people, and judging from the pictures, it looks like this frame, which I don't know if it's because this is a commercial chassis frame, or if it turns out that the 61 and 62 frame is actually different than the 59 and 60. Because all this time I've been told that the entire frame and everything's the same, but I'm starting to think it's not, because these are getting in the way of all of this, and it's making it too tall, and it's just a little bit too tall. So about 2.5 inches. I'd also noticed that my core support is about 2 or 3 inches shorter than this core support, so that explains that. But it looks like they changed a little more than I was under the impression of, so I don't even know if all this time I spent painting this was useful. But I mean, either way, someone will get a nice core support. But damn, dude, I might just have to put this one back on and try to make it work. I don't know how, because I need this. I need to put this right about here, and that, there's no way I can make that work, I don't think. I gotta use my noggin and get creative again. Damn it, I hate doing that. As much as I should have with this, but I was able to get the bumper installed, and the trick was the weight is really weird on this, to where it's got a lot more weight over here than back there, but a lot of the framing is way back there. So the jack is there right now at the end, but before, what I did was, you'll see there's where the two horizontal or two lateral brackets are going this direction on each side. I used this piece of wood to join the two, and that gave me a center of balance that was a little bit more to the back. It was weird, just because I didn't want to put it here, because that area is just too small, and I didn't want teeter-totter like that. So I had it a little further back, and it gave me enough. I mean, you saw when I was jacking it up, and then I just got one side on, and then I got the other side on. Weird thing is, you can see I'm losing a lot of daylight. I don't even know if you can see. I might just show you tomorrow. Or yeah, you can't really see it. But basically, there's the bolts line up. They do work, but they're just about like a 3/4 of an inch off on each one. So they still bolt because there's a lot of slack in the actual bumper. It's like a slot in the bracket. So there's plenty of slack for it to fit in either way. But I thought that I wasn't getting it straight on enough, but it was dead on the money, straight and right in the middle. It was just that the bolt holes don't line up exactly, but they do enough. I've currently only got 2 of the 4 bumper bolts in. I don't have all 4 in. I don't know if I'll be able to because the middle 2 bolt holes don't really seem to line up, but I don't know if that really matters. I'm gonna start over tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. I have a game plan on making the 1962 core support work. It's kind of a shame after I spent all that time painting the current one, but what are you gonna do? More than that, we're gonna have to figure out how to unmangle this one that they sent me. This is that front piece of the core support that needs to get installed, and it's really mangled up from the looks of it, and I'm gonna have to do something to straighten it back out. No fucking idea I'm gonna do that. But also, I just got some new parts in from the junkyard, and the it happened again. They were gonna send me the driver's side inner fender well, and they sent me a 3rd passenger side inner fender. So now I have 1, 2, 3 inner passenger side fenders that I don't know. I also don't have the brackets I need because on the 1959, see, you've got this bracket here. I think it mounts to the firewall, and then this bracket here, I think that mounts to the frame. And I need both of those, and I don't have either. So, on the driver's side at least, I have the outer fender skin, but I don't have those brackets I need. So, I have no idea how this is gonna work today. But I do have. They did send me some good hood springs for the hood hinges that are 1959. So I'll be able to take the hood off at least and put the 1959 hood on, and that'll help me align a lot of stuff. But let's go ahead and start with, I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the bumper off camera just because I'm running out of camera space, and then we'll go ahead and swap the core support over, and then just see if we can get the fenders on. I'm going to take the inner structure off of this one and just lay it on so I can have the whole front end mocked up, and see if I can do it with the 1962 inner fenders, this one, just because those are the closest right now. Nothing is working except for those, so I'm gonna see if I can make those work. Okay, we're making progress by going backwards. The bumper is permanently installed now. I got the core support, the old core support, back in, transferred back the radiator mounts, so I mean, it'll go back together. A good thing about this is if I can make this core support work, because I know it's the right height for this chassis. If I can make this core support work, then I don't need to transfer any mounts for the trans cooler or any of my specific LS swap components because it's already on here. So that's nice. And it'll already mount to these inner fenders, and all I'll need to do is find a way to make these outer fenders mount to these 62 inner fenders. But I've got the one fender laid on, and it's pretty straight on just because I'm kind of just judging off of that midpoint, that ridge right there. So let's go ahead and go into the shop, and I'm gonna see what I can do about straightening this out old school. smashed my foot. So I've got a little bit left to do, but look at how much better it is already. So that's the side that I don't need to do much with. And this is the side that I just doctored. And it's got a little bit left to do. I'll just do it off camera to save some footage, but take a look at that. Just a couple minutes banging it out. I was worried that I might have to scrap this piece and just wait for them to send a new one, but I can use this. This is great. Okay, we now have our re-straightened front inner core support. So since the old core support's back in, let's go ahead and permanently mount the inner fenders back on both sides, just so we can get the exact location of the core support. Then we can mount this fender up. I'm going to take the inner core support out of that fender and then bring it over here, and then go ahead and throw that on. That just goes like these two bolts just go right here, so it's gonna be pretty easy. Get that lined up, and then hopefully I'd really like to get the hood on. Cool. Take a look at that. So I need to take the tarp off to make sure if it's straight and shut all the doors. Even so, like I said in an older video, the body line kind of swoops out here just because these are hand-built coaches, so the doors aren't really straight down. It's going to be hard to tell if it's exactly straight, but if it's not, it's pretty darn close. One way I'll know is by putting the hood on. I'm going to take a break, and then I guess we can start with the hood. One thing I do want to do is I think I might have to cut this bracket off, and well, oh, the 59, yeah, so that bracket right there and this one, I'm probably going to cut those off, and I'm going to make a bracket that bolts from here to here, because there are, I don't know where they are, let's see. Oh yeah, see right there. There are 4 bolts right there. So I'm gonna make a bracket that goes from here to here, just a straight 90 on both sides, and that'll help tie them in even more. But I mean, already we've got, like, the core is, you know, straight and sturdy. It's just the front that's a little more wobbly. So we've got some work to do, you know, permanently mounting the grill and the fenders and everything. Sorry about the wind, but it's finally soaking in that we finally have the front end changed over. It's so much better looking. So there's the old one, and there's the even older one, the more expensive one, but older and better. All right, so I'm going to show you how I got the grill in. It was really easy. I don't think there's a lot, either I'm missing a lot of hardware or there's not a lot of hardware needed, but the grill, the secret to it is you have to loosen these. Assumably you already have these little pieces installed permanently on your car when you get this. Most likely you're gonna have to loosen these so that they can slot in right there. And if you're wondering the orientation, take a look at these, the way they go up. This is the orientation. So if you have them to where it's going the other way, you've got it upside down. But also it's going to be the bigger, like longer section, like these versus these. These stop here where those stop at these two right there. So it's the longer ones that go on the bottom. And they slot in to that bullet right there. It's like where they connect. And then I believe the only thing left is this bar right here, the center chrome, holds it in and it mounts straight to these. Hold on, let me move. These brackets there and there, the wet ones, I just kind of loosened them because they would have slotted right in. They're at the exact same height and everything. The issue I have is it just needs to be moved a little bit in because it's from a different car, and I guess that must have just been a little different. So it's adjustable, that like intentionally. So you're just gonna have to adjust it a little bit and slot it in. So let me just go ahead and put that in. I'm gonna do it in off camera, but you know how it goes. Let me show you. There's a bracket on each side, and it just slides right through the grill, and it rests on the grill, and then that mounts up, and then you're good to go. Okay, so everything is in and tight. Core support is all set up, front end's all set up. But since the front end is loose, in order to do that and get it all straight and where I want it so I can get it tightened down, I need to take this hood off and put the 1959 one on. And in order to do that, I need to, well, I guess I also need to take this off. So I need to get this hood off, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off at the firewall. Once that's off, I think I might install the hood hinges on the 59 hood and try to install it like that, because it might be a little bit less challenging. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go ahead and put the hood hinges on now. Once that's done, I'm gonna have to take this off as well, but I kind of need the hood out of the way. And in order to get the hood down, you see how it kind of rubs on that piece right there? I don't know which order I'm gonna do this all in, but I need to cut these off on both fenders. So I guess I might cut these and then get the hood off, or let me just get the hood off first. I'll just do it off camera, just because, like I said, I'm running out of battery. But all the thing you need to know is just undo these bolts slowly, and it's always best to have something back here. I might put a towel or something there just in case it slides back. But since there's such a cavity there, I don't see it coming off like that. And then just slide it out, and I'll probably just put it right here. But you don't really need to see that because this is really a two-person job anyway. So if you're gonna do it, take the hood off the hinges, you do it here. I'll probably do it down here, making it a little bit easier, because having this assembly down here, it'll stop it from sliding back on the glass. But if you're gonna take it off here, just be careful, because this glass is very rare and expensive. But I'm just gonna take it off down here, and that'll prevent it from sliding back. Well, that was a massive pain in the butt, because the hood bolts there and there were the hardest I've had to fight so far. Hey, tarp. So basically, I got that off. It's over here now, and I'm gonna drag the 59 hood over here and install this hinges and go ahead and drop that on. Okay guys, it's the next day. I didn't want to film the hood situation because it was quite a pain in the butt to get it installed, and I was more so just worried about the windshield. I didn't want to crack it. So my process was I used pillows and jackets and covered the whole hood, or covered the whole windshield, just make sure it wouldn't slide back. And I had a couple close calls, but we made it through. It is definitely a two-person job, and honestly, if there's a video, if you're curious, you might just look up how to install a hood and just try to get some tips and tricks from them, because I wouldn't recommend doing it the way I did it, because it was really scary. But I mean, take a look at how beautiful this is compared to the old. So there's what the old front end looked like, and there's the current one. Isn't it wonderful? It's beautiful. Well guys, the work is not done yet, but I wanted to go ahead and put the battery back in, hook it up, and move it so I could get some little shots for the thumbnail and everything. As you can see, the job isn't done yet, but we've been able to accomplish a lot this weekend. Last weekend we did all the disassembly, and that took, what, a day and a half total? And this weekend, about the same amount of time, we were able to put everything back on. Now, everything I did was just kind of due to time constraints and skill constraints. There's obviously different ways to do this, but I just wanted to show you guys how I did it, because I have a very low skill level with this kind of stuff, but if I can do it, you can do it. I used the 1962 core support and inner fenders, and just made minor modifications to the actual fenders. I think you're about to fall over. I can see teeter-tottering. With minor changes, I was able to get everything to fit on. And next weekend, I'm going to make a couple back brackets. I need to make a battery tray, and I need to make a bracket to mount each outer fender to the 1962 inner fender, because they don't want to bolt right up. But that's all for another video. I'm kind of running out of camera and time. I kind of want to go eat a pizza. Well guys.